Hi everyone. Gonna get a little sip of water to hydrate myself. It's really nice to be back with you today. I'm sitting outside my home. I'm very fortunate to live in this lovely Marin environment. And I'm enjoying this nice tree that is hovering over me, its branches kind of cascading over me. And the greenery goes as far as the eye can see. Mount Tam is over to my left. Just taking a few moments to breathe it all in, feel the comfort and the nurturing and the revitalization of nature. You can even hear a few birds chirping in the background. So, as I get settled, I'm here today. The purpose of this video is soul purpose, and I've had to reevaluate my soul purpose recently. I just came out of soul purpose crisis. Friday, I received CT scan reports and blood test reports, and the results were pretty devastating. The cancer has spread in the right chest cavity, in the lung, and significantly in the bone. And I was devastated, understandably, to hear this news. And it put me into a soul purpose crisis, because I have been launching this website on healing from cancer and alternative treatments, and now I realize I might be documenting healing on many levels, but also the decline of my body is a possibility. I have not completely given up hope, and it's not to say that, particularly the treatment in Mexico, it's not to say that that wasn't effective in any way, because we'll never know. Things could have been even worse. It's hard to know for sure. My local naturopath oncologist is speaking with all his colleagues, and I will see him tomorrow. The doctor from Mexico is conferring with all his colleagues, and I will get a written report about the recommendations from the doctors in Mexico. Then the doctor from Mexico will talk with my local doctor on Wednesday, and they will have a conference call, and I will see what the two of them come up with together. And I'll listen to all of that, and I'll see what feels right to me. It's very interesting, because in our culture, we're really taught to fear death. And we're taught, fight, 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 fight at all costs. And that's kind of sad, because people who are suffering are not supported in their right to exit in a manner that feels timely to them. They are ostracized and alienated for these types of choices. And I'm not advocating death. I'm just saying that it's an individual choice, and I wish our culture could be more accepting of those types of choices, because we all die. None of us escape it. And I think somebody like me, anybody who knows me personally, or through following my videos and reading my blogs, knows that a human being could not have tried harder than I have tried. And that brings enormous sense of peace. Enormous. But I look at this as a partnership, that I'm in partnership with God or with the universe. I really don't care what language you give it. With Buddha, I mean, it makes no difference to me. I'm in part with nature. I'm in partnership with something greater than myself. And so it's not just up to me. And it's kind of a true test of faith if I say, well, if I've done everything I can do and the cancer is still progressing, to trust in the timing that's out of my control, and to accept. It's not giving up. There's a difference between giving up and acceptance. And each person has the right to make that choice for themselves. And nobody can know what is right for this body better than me, because I'm the only one living in it. And I say the same thing for any human being. You know, you can go to the best doctors, you can have, the best spouse, you can, have great friends, but you're the one living in your body. Nobody knows better than you. And so again, I'm not encouraging checking out and dying and giving up. I'm encouraging honoring what you need, even when it's not supported. And I'm also hoping that there can come a time when these choices can be more supported, regardless of the choice. I've been very fortunate in that I've been relatively pain-free. I mean, it is astounding. The doctors are flabbergasted because I have a liver that's about this big. If you touch my body, it has been swollen for almost a year now, and you can just touch it. There's no space. So it's so difficult still for me to eat. And I have progressive metastasized bone cancer, which is the most painful, at least one of the most painful of the cancers. I don't mean to be very disturbing, but pictures of somebody with bone cancer, their bones look like Swiss cheese. It's highly, highly disturbing. And I went to see a new oncologist recently, and she had me lay on the table, and she touched my abdomen, and she was astounded. She's like, aren't you in pain? I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. She expected me to be curled in a ball, screaming. The doctors do not understand how I'm like a walking miracle, meaning my weight loss is the biggest evidence of the disease. But my spirit remains so strong, and my commitment to my passions and my commitment to life. And I really attribute my spirit, this deep, deep, deep sense of spirituality, as to why I've experienced, I can't say no pain, but people in my condition are usually dead, in the hospital, or they're on narcotics 24/7. And I can go 2 weeks without anything. This morning I took a Percocet, which is a narcotic. It's been probably 10 days since that's been in my body. And so, but I don't know how long that will last. So it's a scary time, particularly with the bone cancer progressing at the highest rate. And it's scary because being immobile is one of my greatest fears. I'm an action person. I'm a mover. I have so much to share, so much to communicate. Being in the bed with no energy is so difficult. And I'm just coming out of a 6-week period of being in bed. A big part of that was due to my anemia. My red blood cell count was very low, and I recently got a blood transfusion, which is now I'm out of bed every day. I rebound on my mini trampoline, 10 minutes, not a lot, but I stretch, rebound for 10 minutes, stretch some more, and I work on my website every day after being on vacation for 6 weeks from it. Vacation, I use that word loosely. So the news was devastating and scary, but also I no longer knew what my purpose was, because I'm like, well, if I'm not documenting my healing and I'm not creating a website with healing alternatives, what am I doing on this planet right now? And what am I supposed to be doing with my time? I mean, I was just lost. And I sat with that, saying, what do I do? I have a book I want to publish, and I want to get my poetry out into the world, and I want to finish getting all my paintings downloaded onto my website. So there were some tasks, but I needed an umbrella. I needed a frame to process what I was doing. I had lost the statement of my purpose. And then on Saturday, while I was in this soul purpose crisis, I received an email that I have permission to share with you. I won't mention her name, but it's someone who knows me well and has been watching my journey. So this arrived on Saturday. I consider it my messenger. She says, "Hi, Laura. I'm sitting here trying to make decisions about which path to follow amongst many possible. I could just see you saying, I don't know the outcome, and I know my way is definitely not the traditional way to go about things. But I am going to follow my intuition and let my spirit lead the way." Remembering that, I realized that I didn't need to plan everything and try to cover all the bases before I took the first step. I will just step out on the path that beckons me and see what I see. So thank you for your wisdom and example. I hope that when next I hear from you, the news is good and that your beautiful spirit is still shining brightly. Blessings. And I thought, wow, she doesn't have cancer. She doesn't have illness of any kind. And she's inspired by my work and the way I choose to live my life. And then I remembered another email I got, and I went on my computer and I'm rummaging through, and this one was from another person I know well, who also has been supporting me and sharing in my journey with me. And she sent me this email in April. And it says, "Laura, I just wanted to share with you a realization I just had. I was thinking about setting boundaries in my life and standing in my truth, mulling over how I wanted to communicate something to a guy. And I realized my sense of what I can and can't say and how true to myself I can be is feeling different today. I'm feeling stronger in my commitment to being true to myself and frankly not giving a damn, at least not as much as I usually do, about how others may react." So I, took in the pleasure of the feedback from these two lovely women, and all of a sudden something clicked. And I'm like, my purpose is not to, I do hope to be of support and inspiration to those struggling with cancer or other illness, but my purpose is actually more universal. It's about how to live life authentically, how to connect with your soul purpose, and I model that through how I live and through how I create. And what I mean is the realization that people are like, your spirit is, you're radiating. How, or I'll be talking on the phone and someone will say, gosh, if I didn't know what you were going through, I'd have no idea. And the point being, through a great deal of work, walking through the fire multiple times, I've deeply have found who I am. And the soul, the true nature of the soul is joyful and radiant. It's just its nature. And it's independent of circumstance. And I think that is my sole purpose, is to inspire people to live meaningfully, to live a meaningful life, to live a purposeful life, to live a joyful life, and to be less impacted by the curveballs that life can throw us. When I say that the true nature of the soul is radiant and joyful, does not mean that I'm radiant and joyful all the time. This has been a very, very difficult journey. But as difficult as it's been, I always come back to the spirit. And being in touch with soul doesn't mean being radiant and joyful and happy all the time. I believe you have to experience, acknowledge, and feel the full range of emotions. You have to experience, acknowledge, and feel whatever it truly is that's going on inside of you. Sometimes that's rage, sometimes that's shame, sometimes that's joy, sometimes that's fear, sometimes that's love. One emotion isn't better than the other, but it's by having that range of expression that then you can come back to your true soul essence, which for all of us is joyful, expansive, and radiant. And I think that's what the cancers taught me, that I have a soul that is living independently of all of this. And I came into the world with it. It's been with me all along. I've had varying degrees of consciousness. I would say the consciousness of it has grown, and it'll come with me in my belief system when I pass from this body. So by reshaping my soul purpose, I now knew what to do with my time. It was because my soul purpose was no longer dependent on me curing cancer. It was no longer dependent on lab results. It really wasn't dependent on anything other than using my creativity to show how I respond to these challenges. And cancer, because of the seriousness of it, makes it a pretty powerful message. I could just as easily be documenting a divorce or documenting, a job search. Really anything could be. Now the cancer is more the vehicle for me to demonstrate this. But really it could be anything. And so I was like, okay, now I know what to do with my time. And again, I still hope to be of support and inspiration to those suffering with illness. It's a very, very, very cancer and really any illness. These are very serious life challenges, and we all need all the support that we can get and all the inspiration and all the inner resource that we can find. I see the wind moving the leaves. It's always pleasurable for me to see how the leaves and the trees kind of are moved by the wind, and also to feel the cool breeze. hitting against my skin. And I'm thinking how I want to complete this video. You know, I was feeling joy last night because I had a visit from someone that I care about. And then I fell asleep and woke up in the fear of particularly the bone cancer. You know, how much time do I have pain-free? You know, how is this all going to play out? And then I realized, get back to the present moment. And then in the present moment, I was able to process and say, let's bring your spirituality and your faith to meet the fear, and you'll cross the bridges when they arrive, whatever those bridges may be. And you might think that my spirituality would be, my beliefs would be weakened by my most recent medical news. And I guess what was most surprising is that spirituality is not an idea to me. I feel so supported. I can't even begin to tell you, by nature, by my friends, by the numerous international team of doctors that have done their best to support me, by the flow, by the synergy of life. Again, by nature. I have to say nature twice because I love nature. By the people who are helping me make my videos and helping me launch my website, who's editing my book. Sometimes I can just lay down and feel it underneath my body, that I'm being held by something. The synchronicities, as things just line up in a really quite miraculous fashion. And I can't dismiss it, because it's not just an idea, it's an experience. So my faith is unshaken by this news, because it's not something that's really shakeable. It just is. It's become, a part, I can't even find language for it. And if I truly believe and trust, then I also have to trust that in the timing of how and when I'll pass. And I still prefer to have more time here in a quality state that allows me to create and do some of the things that I love. But again, if the universe is not partnering with me in that goal for some reason, then I have to trust that there's a reason. And I don't know why it has to be my time now, but I have great access to other realms, but I certainly don't have access to everything. And so, and then I just have to, I don't have to, but I choose to trust that if now's my time, there must be a reason that is beyond my knowledge. And I still haven't given up hope. So time will tell, and I will live each day as fully as I can. I won't be happy and radiant every day. Some days I'm quite bitchy, screaming. I break plates, I yell, I use the F word. I'm miserable, I'm suffering. But I always come back to this. And I think I'll end on that note, and also just with much gratitude to that big list of people and spirits and nature, and the big long list of all of the magnitude of support that I feel. on so many different levels. And to each of you who are watching this, are now a part of that support. So thank you, and may we all live fully. And may we all live fully to the best of our capacity, regardless of circumstances. Blessings, love, and gratitude. Thank you.